Aloha everybody, welcome to the Hawaiiverse podcast, a podcast that supports local by throwing up the shaka after you accidentally cut someone off while driving, or when someone lets you into their lane. Never forget to throw the shaka. I'm your host Kamaka Diaz, and you probably heard our guest a lot during those shaka throwing drives, or if you were ever caught in traffic listening to the radio. But before we introduce him, let me tell you about our local business giveaway, which is being provided by our guest. He's giving away a Just Snap Nike hat. So head over to Hawaiiverse on Instagram and enter now. Okay, we're flipping the script for our guest, who is usually on the other side of the mic as a host. Our guest today is an on-air radio personality and music producer from the island of Oahu. He is a hustler who worked his way from the bottom to the top and has over 15 years of experience working on the radio. As a music producer, his single Screenshots and Want To has over 1.5 million streams worldwide. You've heard his charismatic voice before, you've seen him at the local clubs, and word on the street is he is powered purely by snacks and naps. His name is Micah Banks. Hello, Micah. Welcome to the podcast.
What an intro. You're going to take my job.
No, I don't want your job. No competition. I just love to brag about my guests. That's all.
No, man. That was quite an intro. Thank you.
Yeah, mahalo for coming on. I know we basically see each other every time we're in the studio.
Well, and in fact, we've seen each other even before you started this Hawaiiverse.
Yes. And we actually have a funny story of how we first came to know each other virtually.
Yeah.
I guess I'll tell a little bit and then you can tell your side of the story. I was graduating college from Manoa in 2016. And before that, a couple days before, I was already on a sprained ankle from playing basketball. I decided to play basketball again, like 2 days before graduation, sprained my other ankle. So I was on crutches, so I had to graduate and, crutch up to get my diploma and everything. And then that night, all my friends wanted to go out to the district, which is a club here in Honolulu. And I don't drink, so I'm just like, yeah, I'll still go on DD. Right. And I was on my crutches. I was like, oh, it could be fun. So I was just in the dance floor, just trying to balance on my crutch and just do some crazy dance moves. And later on, I think maybe the next day or that night, I see a tweet. I don't even know how I saw it. Yeah. 'Cause I'm not sure if I know who you were from the radio, but I just see a tweet that says, "Shout out to the boy in crutches" or something like that.
You were the most Kamaka was on crutches, okay, and I was like, he was just, for somebody who doesn't drink, I mean, he was having a ball. He was just going in and in crutches. I was like, wow. And there's some people at the clubs, right? They're wallflowers. They're like on the side. They're too cool to dance. They're just checking out the scene, whatever. Nah, Kamaka was on the dance floor, crutches. I'm like, man, this is the kind of effort I want to see, okay? You're gonna come out to enjoy yourself at the clubs. This is the kind of energy you gotta give. So, I mean, definitely was so memorable. And then, I know when we fully met in person or online, like following each other. Like, hey, you remember that guy that you saw in the club on crutches? Yeah, that was me. And I was like, wow. So
yeah, that was super funny. And it's funny you say that. Some people are wallflowers. Usually I never dance. So I think the crutches actually acted as somewhat of a crutch. Yeah. And
I see what you did there. Yeah.
And it kind of gave me confidence because I'm just like, I already look ridiculous. So I'm just going to look more ridiculous. Yeah. Whereas when I'm not that, I'm just like, I don't know what to do with my hands usually.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, that's funny. And then we followed each other since then. I was like, hey, that was me. Not all heroes wear capes.
Yeah, that was funny. No, yeah, that was a good time. Very memorable. I still remember it to this day.
Yeah, that's classic. So, I mean, you've been all over the scene here in Hawaii.
Yeah.
You've worked with a lot of notable people. DJs. You've been at the club. You've been on the radio for how many years? So
right out of high school.
Yeah, we know you as that person, but I'm excited to get to talk story with you a little bit more. And before we get into that, congrats on your new single.
Thank you.
Easy. That's a great song. I got it on my likes in my Spotify playlist.
Oh, that means a lot, man.
It's really good. I really like the girl's voice.
Adam, yeah. Yeah, shout out to Adam. Adam is so funny. Adam and I have known each other for years, actually. Our friends of the family, our families know each other a long time. Like her sisters.
Is she from here?
Yeah, her sisters and everything I've known for kind of a while, and it just kind of full circle how we connected because I think sometime last year I was in Osna's studio. Shout out to DJ Osnizzle. He's one of my best friends, and he's actually helping me put together this project, Night at the Heartbreak, my first EP. So she was at the studio, and I've been looking for like a pop singer, girl pop singer to work with, and I saw her there. I was like, I'm working on a project. Do you want to be a part of it? And she was like, yeah. And then, we did a couple of songs, and she's an amazing talent, So just like I think we share the similar mindset. It's like sometimes it's what we're trying to do here has its challenges, it's hard and whatnot. So we're kind of like teamed up in a way, you know what I mean? I'm going to help her with her project as well. She's, she's going to be on my project. Not only she was featured on Easy, I have this other song with her. It's called LYK. She did a really good job with that. So yeah, she's so talented. And shout out to Calabasas, and you're talking about the single
Also,
Easy.
Yeah.
Next biggest thing in music.
Really?
One of the boys, Fransky's, Kamehameha graduate.
They're both local.
No, just only Fransky's.
Okay,
only
okay,
Franny. So him, and then the other guys from California, Water Cub. So shout out to Calabasas. They just got off tour with Marky Basie.
Yeah. Also have a song with him.
Yes,
Another
More Than
good
Friends.
song.
Thank you. They're gonna be the next biggest thing in music.
Oof. Okay.
No, honestly,
we got
hands
we
down.
have
Remember
it
this,
quoted here on
right?
the Hawaiiverse podcast. You can reference this when it comes out.
Yeah. So everything's going good with that.
Awesome. Well, I definitely want to talk more about all of that. But before we get into that, I just want to know where you from, what was it like growing up, and of course, where you grad.
Growing up, Honolulu, Hawaii. I was born at Kapiolani, like everyone else. Let's see. Yeah, I grew up in Manoa, in the Manoa area. My grandparents had a house over there. So Manoa plays a very close part to my heart, especially my other cousins, my aunties. They live in Manoa, from my mom's side. So our roots are in the Makiki, Manoa area. My great grandmother. I don't know if you've seen this book, like back in the 90s. It was called Manoa. It was a green book, and my great grandmother wrote it. So our roots are cool. Very deep into Manoa. I know it's weird, when I talk about like being part Hawaiian, because you see how I dress, you see how I am. I'm not really, oh, brother, you know what I mean? All that kind of type, even though I'm very proud to be part Hawaiian. And when my grandmother, great-great-great-great-grandmother, she was hanai'd by the queen.
No way.
That's how my family got land in Manoa. So it's just been in the family, and it's like crazy. I went to school in Noilani Elementary in Manoa. Middle school, I ended up going to our Redeemer. It's on the side of the H1 with the basketball court on top. It switched to a different, I think like a charter school, but that's where I went to intermediate. And then when I hit 9th grade, proud Damien graduate.
Monarch.
Yeah.
My stepdad went to Damien.
Oh yeah. What year is he?
Oh, probably like somewhere in the 80s.
Okay. Yeah. So.
But he's also proud of Damien.
You know what's weird growing up? Are going to Damien, right? It was all boys school. And when you're 13 years old, you just turned, just a teenager, 13, 14, you're like, I don't want to go there. There's no girls. And
that's what I was thinking, right? Same with St. Louis.
Yeah, but my mom went to Sacred Hearts.
Okay.
Her and my auntie and all my other aunties went over there. And then my dad is a St. Louis graduate. So, and my dad was like the man over there. I'm like the typical all-state football, all-state baseball. I mean, his picture's on the wall of fame over there. I'm his only child, right? And he's all the alumni know him, right? So they find out I'm playing for Damien. Coach Cal is like, your boy, play Damien. Yeah, and then, he just catching cracks for that, right? Because, so my mom was like, no, I remember going up to, taking a test for Kamehameha. And then my mom was like, oh, Damien, because you got to take the half-tailing cut off, and then you go all the way up, right? Pass by Damien. She goes, oh, maybe we should apply you for Damien. And something like in me was like, I'm not getting in a Kamehameha. I'm going to end up at Damien. So the whole joke is Damien, Kamehameha, Middle Campus, all my friends I played sports with or my classmates, right? Anybody who was part Hawaiian, all of us used to joke, right? Like, oh, you took the test? Yeah. And then we ended up here. So, but I'm really happy. I'm very, very proud of where I came from.
What sports did you play?
Football, basketball. Did a little bit of track, but football and basketball were just my passion.
Yeah. How come they decided to put you into Damien over St. Louis?
My mom didn't even apply me to St. Louis.
How come?
She was just like, no, you're not going there.
Oh.
She's just like, Damien.
She didn't want you to be one of those St. Louis jocks, huh?
Yeah, well,
or the next Marcus. I'm not Marcus Mariota. Well, he went St. Louis, right? Marcus Mariota to
yeah,
right?
no, she didn't care about sports. Like, mom does not care at all. I just think she was just like, no, you're just gonna go there. You know, I was like, why? It just so happens I got, accepted to that into Damien. My auntie used to be a Damien cheerleader, so she was all happy, right? She still has my auntie still has her pom-poms and all that stuff too, so it's so funny. And my auntie and I are really close, and it's just weird. We have a lot of connections, especially, her being a Damien cheerleader, former Damien cheerleader. But all my aunties were like St. Louis.
Oh, that's so interesting.
So
you graduated Damien, and then you got right into radio after that, or did you go to college? Did you?
Yeah. So as soon as I graduated, right, my birthday's in February, so I'm a senior in high school, and I'm already 18. So I was like, hey, we can go out, we can do adult things now, and especially like when you have classmates that are late born, right? You're the one that's 18 in high school. Yeah, you look kind of cool, right? Like, oh, he cool. He can do the 18 and over clubs. He can he could do this. He could do that, right? He's an adult. So when I graduated, I thought I was just gonna play football and I wasn't like the best football player. I was okay. I was straight. But I thought I was like, my goal was, I don't care. I'll play at the smallest college ever. I'm just gonna go there, and I'm just going to, go to college. I just want to play football again. I'll get my degree in communications, and I'll come back and I'll just be a teacher and coach football. Not many people know that story. Yeah. And I come from a sports family, and it was like I'm just gonna do that. I don't care if it's D3, NIA. I used to talk to Menlo, talk to all these other schools, Western Oregon, all these schools I wanted to play, and it just didn't work out that way. Next thing you know, I'm just here and going to community college, going to KCC for a little bit. And at the time, I was going out with my friends, and I used to have this dance crew called Full Court Press. We used to go out. When you're just 18, you just want to go out, right? You want to experience life as an adult, right? Making your own adult decisions. So just going out and all that. And just so happens, I kept going to at the time, the radio station was Extreme Radio back in the day. And they used to do nut stuff on the radio. And then it turned into 104.3 XME. So it was 104.3 XME at the time, and I kept bumping into this guy, Urusai. He works at ILBO now. He's one of the big managers over there. So we'd always see each other around. Local people, right? You see each other more than once, right? Yeah. Then eventually you're gonna keep talking to each other. It's like, okay, what's up, bro? You know what I mean? Kind of similar to our friendship, right? Yeah. Just like from seeing each other that night where you're on the crutches to following each other on social media to seeing you doing, all the odd jobs to pay off your $50,000 debt. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's dope. And then, you know what I mean? It just snowballs. So that's kind of how I was. And next thing you know, one of my close friends, Ty, we were trying to do radio together. He was like, why don't we just do this radio together? And then, we're doing our dance crew. We can use the radio events to promote our dance crew and get out there. So that's exactly what happened. And then next thing you know, we're interning over here. We're doing all the events, passing out things for free, not making any money, I would work like these part-time jobs while I was interning over here. And every time I would tell my job, I used to work at Price Busters. Oh, and Price Busters. Price Busters in Kalihi, right? I used to work over there. And then I got fired for doing something that I didn't do. But that's a different story. Water on the bridge. And I ended up working at Champs. But I had a really cool boss. And she was really like, I used to tell the jobs, like, so I plan to be on the radio. So I'm doing work over there too. But if our schedules don't link up, then you shouldn't hire me. I would tell them straight. Because I knew I just told them straight, I'm gonna be on the radio. You know what I mean? Just like, and this is like, I just started interning over here, right? So I'm just like, I'm just gonna be on the radio. I got big plans in life, so. And I had this really cool boss, Annette. I'll never forget her. She would always be like, she would be super supportive. She'd be like, what you gonna do? Okay, cool. Can you just do A, B, and C? And okay, she would schedule me around, like, if I had to, because I, at the time, to start practicing, I would, like, host the all-agers as I practice on the mic, like these radio station events, like, just basic stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then she would just, like, let me be me, and just, like, okay, cool. Well, she would literally tailor my schedule around that. And I never forgot. I was like, wow, this is what a really good boss does, right? You know what I mean? So next, I interned for free for, like, a year and a half, like a year. And then they said, we're going to put you part-time on call, though. You imagine be part-time. Part-time, you're already getting not full hours, but, like, part-time on call.
Yeah.
And I just remember, running the mix shows late at night, learning the board, and how to run the board and everything. Oh, man. 2005?
2005, okay.
2006, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just, like, running the board and all that kind of stuff, too, so...
and that's when more people listened to the radio, because there wasn't all these streaming apps, and there wasn't, like, the aux cord that you plug into your car when you drive.
Yeah, it's funny you say that about, like, radio. It's like, yeah, everybody has their Spotify and they have the Apple and whatever, but it's like at the end of the day, like, people still listen because it's like they listen for what's popping, right? What's popping, engagement, what's going on, So anytime people, like, say just stuff about radio, like, oh, yeah, nobody really listens to the radio. No, I can give away Bruno Mars tickets and the entire state will call me. You know what I mean? So it just depends what you do, the content you do, right? And there's some people in radio and you probably don't know who they are. Like, oh, I met somebody in radio, I forget his name, you know?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people tune in for the personality, too. That's why it's
I
important
think
to
so,
have
too.
a good radio personality.
It's somebody that you can relate to. It's somebody that looks like you, is part of your peer. You know what I mean? Your generation that you can relate to. So that's all big things too. So yeah, I remember like they called me a year later and they're just like, we're gonna give you your own night show. And I was like, what? And started, 7 to midnight, it was nice. And then I was fortunate to be number one for a lot of years. To be like just the nights, and then eventually moved up to afternoons, and eventually they putting me on KCCN as well as Power. And then, a few years ago, I got the assistant program director position, and now I'm the program director not only of Power 104.3, but of Crater 96. I do the mornings on KCCN. Thank you. And it's just kind of cool that, to have like a company that's like, who's young in radio. I think I'm one of the youngest program directors in the country, in the state, so I mean, it's kind of cool, just to kind of put your imprint on something and kind of make something your own. You know what I mean? So
I mean, you really are the face of Power. And
thank you.
Like when you think of a lot of local radio personalities, I think you're one of the first that comes to people's mind, right? Just because you've been doing it for so long and you're so active in the scene.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's just one of those things where I look at Ryan Seacrest, except not just my twist on what Ryan Seacrest did or does. Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon's a friend of mine. Nick Cannon, I've always looked up to. I've known Nick since 2006. He's always been somebody I've looked up to in terms of, some stuff like people might tease him, so certain things he's cheesy. I'm like, no, he's an entertainer.
He knows what he's doing, right?
He hosts The Masked Singer. He has done radio, TV shows, Wild and Out.
Gotta love that.
That show is, to me, that's instant classic. That's one of those shows that you will always.
Yeah.
Our generation's all about like, yo, I love Wild and Out.
Yeah.
And
it's like our generation of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Basically, yeah. Just the culture's version, right? You know what I mean? And I just, that's what I kind of take into consideration. Like, I just look at that kind of stuff and I'm just like, I see what they're doing and I try to make it my own. But, just about your brand and whatnot, and just, that's kind of like what I learned. And, just having friends in different markets, radio definitely made the world a smaller place, where just the connections and stuff like that too. And fortunately, I got to meet, cool people and friends in this business where I can go, a different city. And I don't really like talking about this, because I don't really, but, it's my first podcast. So I feel like, I not that many people know these kind of things about me. And it's not like on bragging tip, but it's like, it's cool to,
you should be
it's
proud
relationships.
Of your accomplishments.
Yeah. And just being able to have friends in different cities and to be good in every city and to grow the brand, the relationships and whatnot. And just to like, and I'm fortunate I've met good people along the ways. And, it's definitely a blessing. I love radio. I love what I do. Even if I was hella rich, right? I'd still would do radio.
Yeah.
It's fun. You know, they always said, like, find something you love doing. You know, like, look what you're doing with Hawaiiverse. And, like, look what you're doing with your brand, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
I
and
don't
we've
get paid
talked
for anything, but I love it. I'm so
But that's
happy.
how I started, though.
Yeah.
But you're creating a brand that eventually is going to catch on, and eventually you're going to have your own studio, and eventually you're going to have these sponsors, and that's what you do. And I don't know, I always thought that you know, we talk DMs and text messages, like, and I've always been complimentary of what you do. I was like, bro, this is so dope, right? You know what I mean? I've always been like, yo, and I'm very pro Hawaii.
Yeah.
I love seeing our generation go out and do stuff. Start your own clothing line. Have your own, open up your own brick and mortar store. Whatever you're doing, Hawaii, I'm very proactive. I don't care. It's not a matter of you being a celebrity. From a Marcus Mariota to Bruno Mars to you to me, like, I support locals fully if you're supposed to do it.
I love it.
You know, and I love where we're from. It's unfortunate sometimes, though, like, when you're trying to do something over here, you'll catch haters. Oh, Kamaka, you think he bad? He Hawaiiverse. That whole sorry, yeah. You know, that's how sorry, yeah, Hawaiiverse.
Yeah, it's funny.
And it's like, why we gotta tear each other down locally?
Yeah.
But it's so weird if we're on the mainland, those people who would hate on you here, backing you up if we were on the mainland. I saw this post that said that, like, Hawaii people are more unified when we're not in Hawaii, and I was like,
that's weird. I feel yes and no.
Yeah.
Because I feel like recently with, you know, the pandemic, everything shutting down, there's this big movement of support local. So we kind of had to, you know,
so let me
other.
yeah. So let me rephrase. I'm not saying everyone's like that, not that, but sometimes when, you know, they see somebody crawling out there, sometimes you get that. And again, this is not everybody.
But it happens, yeah.
To say that's not a mentality that lives here. Not everybody has that mentality, but when you're trying to do certain things, it's like, you know, that comes on. And I was like, I'm just very pro Hawaii, and I'm just like, I don't care what you do, just like do it. You know, like even during when you brought up the pandemic, I did this small business shout out on Twitter, and then like the reach and the engagement was like well over like 100,000 something people, and I was like, whoever's doing a side business, I want to support it, I want to retweet it, and it started catching on, and I was just like, that's how it's supposed to be, because I'm super all about where we're from. I always felt like it was Hawaiiverse everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? I've always felt, not versus everyone, like we gotta like scrap everybody or whatever. No, but it's always felt like we have to take care of our own.
Yes.
The roots of Hawaii is very family oriented. It's very, you know, Hawaii, very, you know, how we are.
Yeah, it's a kako thing.
Exactly.
It's all of us with each other, not against each other.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, that's not, everybody has that mentality, but it is kind of a mentality that I've ran into growing up, you know, and trying to do your thing and whatnot. And maybe, yeah, you're right. Maybe that everywhere has that some kind of shape or form, right? But we do, but there's also the other side, like you said, the support local. And that's where you see these local bands that do really well.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I'm all about that too. And that's why, you know, I've always been, I always comment on your stories, like, yo, I see you doing your thing, bro. Like,
it makes me stoked.
you know what I mean? And you know, so definitely, like, I'm just all about it. And I like to see our generation. I feel like our generation is very pro business and ambition. Like, we all support like the hustle.
It's that new entrepreneurial movement, and it's becoming more normalized too, you know, because like back in the days, maybe one of the things that people why people wouldn't support you is because, like, what are you doing? Why are you starting your own business? Why aren't you going to college, getting a 9-to-5 job, starting your career? But now, and you know, especially again, I'm going to reference the pandemic, because people had to figure out how to make money, and they had to pivot.
Yeah,
so
you really saw the hustlers though during the pandemic.
Exactly, the hustlers came out during that.
Yeah,
and you know, the businesses that did survive the pandemic, you know, they're killing it, because if you can survive that, you can survive anything.
Yeah,
yeah. So it's really cool to, you know, be able to do what I do and meet all these people, all these young, you know, Hawaiian local people that are just killing it. And it's like, it's cool. We have this community where just, like,
I feel like you're building a bridge though. Like, I feel like in you know, in the near future, you're gonna be like that guy to connect like all the businesses, and
I'm happy
you
to
know
say
what
that.
I mean,
My
and all that.
my main goal is to build all these connections.
Yeah.
That's what I call them.
I like that.
Yeah, you got to throw that on your shirt.
Yeah. No, that's we gotta make merch for you like that.
That's basically what I want to do, is build these connections and be able to connect all the local people and, you know, bridge that gap.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you need a local DJ. I know this guy. You need a local business to do this. I know this guy. You need this. I just want to be able to do that.
So how you just, I think this is why we connect from jump, is because like that kind of energy and whatnot, because I've always wanted to be the guy here where all these mainland artists come from.
Like kind of like a promoter, right?
In a way, but just kind of like the guy, right? Like there's artists that come here. Oh, go see Micah. You know what I mean? I've always wanted to be that guy, and I've been grateful to build these relationships where sometimes as artists they'll come here and they're like, "Oh, we're only gonna interview with Micah, and that's it.
Yeah,
we don't
like
want to."
G-Eazy,
You know what I mean? Yeah. Shout out to Jeezy. Shout out to Kehlani. Kehlani's my homegirl. I can never not say anything bad about her. I have so many good things to talk about with her or to say about her. If you were to meet her, you know what I'm talking about. It's like that energy you can't describe. She's really not about the Hollywood. You know, she's one of the realest. Her and Rihanna, probably one of the two realest celebrities I've ever met.
Wow, that's cool.
Nick Cannon's one of them too, but like,
it's never met him, so I don't know.
yeah, but it just comes part of the job, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like, I'm fortunate to have these, like, a relationship like that. But I'm telling you, man, like those two really blew my mind. Rihanna,
Awesome.
Rihanna and Kehlani, it's like they feel like my friends from high school, like homegirls, like kick it with, and it's like you forget that they got millions of followers on Instagram.
Exactly.
They got, you know, millions of records sold and whatnot, and so I mean, that's pretty cool. That I think that's one of the coolest things too about meeting celebrities, not for clout, is you really are a good person. To find out
you're normal, just like us, right?
You're not on that, you know, high maka side. You know what I mean? You're on that. I was like, and that makes you love them more.
Exactly. Well, because then they become relatable. Because you're like, wow, you're just like me.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Kehlani was here, we ended up going to Gilkaku, and I forgot my money. And then she goes, "Oh, yeah, I got you. Don't worry about it." And I was like, "Oh, I left my wallet in my car."
Oh,
back
wow,
at the
good
Airbnb.
move, Micah. I heard that one before. You did the
Oh yeah,
the slap dance.
It's my wallet, right? You're right. I did the money slap dance. Let's call it that, the money slap dance. And you know, so when we got back, I gave her the money, but it was just like, it was just weird. We're just at Gilkaku, just eating and just like regular. It's like you and me going over there, and it's like, you know what I mean? We're just in the middle over there and whatnot. So I mean, you know, that's cool. And probably the most rewarding thing too about radio is like meeting people that really support you.
Yeah.
Or that just call you like regulars. I'll call you like every week, right? Or a couple times a week or whatever. You know, hey Micah, what are you up? You know what I mean? Just saying hi. Like that feels, that's better than meeting celebrities. That's the best feeling you can being in my industry in radio, is that the one-on-one connection that you make. It's like just, you know, just people that just support you, that listen to you, you know, where you know about them, you know about their kids, you know the kids' name, the kids know you, right? It's like you almost become extended family. In fact, you do, because you were with them, especially me being in the afternoons, right? Like you're driving in that traffic, and it's like, I can't tell you how, like, that's the ultimate prize in radio, like the feeling, the high.
It's that community, that's why. It's that aloha. Same thing I felt when I did the race to 50K.
Yeah.
It's like this community is so supportive, right? And you feel like they're part of your journey, you're part of their journey. And it's such a beautiful thing.
No, it really is. And, you know, and that's why when you, just being able to meet good people.
Yeah.
I've always been a people person growing up. I've always been
super outgoing, extrovert.
Yeah, the one, you know, teacher got to tell me kind of, okay, Micah, stop talking in class. You know what I mean?
Too?
No, it's just
Portuguese by choice.
Yeah, I guess so. You know, like my dad's like that too. That's the funny thing too. But I've always been, you know, my teachers used to say, "Oh, we're not surprised what you do," but I never really got in trouble in school. But they were like, because I was never mean. Like my jokes or things that I would do, you know, I'd just be out there. So I got a pass in a way where they told me like, "Oh, we didn't care. We couldn't tell you this, but you know, we would laugh, you know, in the teacher's lounge. Did you see what Micah did today?" But it was very like, it was
Lighthearted.
it was innocent but funny. You know what I mean? Maybe, you know, I had to pull it back a couple times, but it wasn't like, oh, that kid's like nasty, you know what I mean, and whatnot. And
kind of like how you would always joke around with Candace. That kind of relationship. That's funny.
Yeah, Candace is very mean to me, okay? You just
okay, maybe not then.
She abuses, she verbally abused, no.
We have it on record.
Yeah. Shout out to Candace K. Like, Candace and I have known each other. I've known Candace my entire adult life.
You guys have a great rapport.
Yeah, you know, when the videos that we do on social media, and they're like, oh my God, you guys should do a YouTube. You guys should do that. I'm like, you know, or is this, you know, somebody's asked, oh, do you guys script what you guys do? It's like, no, it's literally just hit record. If you see a lot of the videos, it's very organic. It's like not produced.
That's why it's good. That's why people like it.
If Candace, the way we are with each other is the exact same way we are if there was nobody filming. It was just so happens we just started filming it. You know, so I mean, yeah, she's definitely like, you know, it's the only nicest thing I'll ever say is that she is like a little sister to me. You know, we've been pretty close. Even her sister, Marissa, you know, I have a pretty good relationship with them.
Well, we'll move on before we start getting to
I know,
start saying nice things.
Can we edit this out?
Sorry.
What is the end of Shaka Tea?
Yeah, I've never seen this side of Micah before. This is
my
weird.
God.
Okay,
this is
let's continue on.
I got some simp juice in this. Anyway.
Classic. Okay, one question I have is, how much of the radio is live and how much is it pre-recorded? Also, what are the tips to win the giveaways? Asking for a friend.
A friend, right?
Yeah.
Air quotes. We are live a lot, you know. I think some people, when they call in, obviously we screen the calls, but we're live. We're pretty much live. Other stations aren't live as much, but we're pretty much live.
So when they're doing those giveaways, are people actually calling in live? Like,
yeah, they're calling it. Well, morning show they'll answer, like if you called, and like you're probably like you'll be literally live, like depending on the morning show or whatever Jock is picking up. But typically, like, you know, when I do stuff like I screen it, but I edit it down and then I put it on.
Okay, but that's still in a matter of a couple seconds, minutes.
Yeah, a couple minutes. I can edit a conversation and put it on. So in a sense, yeah, I am live, but we just kind of screen it because we don't. Some people have potty mouths and trying to keep a job. So yeah, no, that's why.
Did you ever slip up?
Of course, of course. Not me. A call, editing a call.
Oh, okay.
It's a growing pain. Everybody does it once in a while.
Yeah. That's funny.
It happens, and you're like, whoops. So, but it happens, you know, or editing a conversation on air, you know, like certain things like that has happened before. But I mean, that's like when you first start. That's like
you gotta growing pains.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are these secrets to winning these giveaways? Is you know,
you just gotta keep listening.
Some Brutal March tickets.
Yeah, you know, if you want to keep listening, you just gotta listen. To be really honest, if you listen all the time, your chances improve.
Yeah.
I had this joke that I always say. I say women have the easier time to winning contests because they have a lot of experience calling till they get an answer. You know, kind of like their man who's going out with the boys. Then they see a girl that they don't recognize in the Instagram story in the background. Then they keep calling till they answer. You know, same thing. You know,
that's funny.
Or they don't come home till 3. Their man don't come home till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But you know, that kind of stuff. But no, I'm just joking. But yeah, it's funny because some callers are very persistent. I would say a lot of women are persistent. Yeah. That'll keep calling and calling and calling and calling.
They want free stuff. It's like all of us. See, that the only difference between that and the guys, I think, is that the guys are lazy. Too lazy to do that.
It's funny because the ones in relationships, I can hear it in their voice. I'll hear their girl in the background. It's like, let me guess, your girl made you call? Yeah, because she's too ashamed because she don't want her voice recognized on the radio and whatnot.
Who's gonna recognize your voice?
You know what's crazy? When I was doing the night show, I used to do this part on the night show called the Power Love Hour. All the throwback jams was like, that's what I was like known for when I first started. And then I would just be making up like dedications. I would just do dedications like to my friends that are in relationships, right? And then I'll get like a text the next morning. It was like, did you dedicate a song to me and Leilani? I was like, oh yeah. And then they would just laugh it off. Or my homies who were like talking to a girl and they were just, you know how you cruise around, you know, in the car or whatever, they're like, they'd sneak a text like, hey, do you think you can give us a shout out or what? You know, trying to score points. So it's so funny.
Oh, this is good advice, huh? I gotta maybe take a page out of that book, huh?
No, you're doing a great job, bro. I'm gonna start taking advice from you. You probably gonna take my job. But,
no way. Well, okay, I wanna get into your music career a little bit too, because you have some, I think people call it these days bangers.
Yeah.
Is that what people say?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not super cool and hip, but I think I can say that. Yeah. It's tough.
Yeah.
Did I use that correctly? I'm trying to. No.
Hey, as long as if it's positive, I'll take it.
No cap.
Yeah, there you go. No cap. If it's positive, I'll take it. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit. How did you get into that? Well, you obviously love music, right?
Right.
So how did you get into music, producing, and then releasing your own singles?
Well, I've always been around music. I've always had friends that, like Osna is a very close friend of mine, and he would always get into like he was producing and rapping on his own, and I just had my friends that just constantly be around it, right? And I didn't physically make the beats or whatnot. I don't do that. I don't rap. I don't sing, but I always knew I have a part in music, so just learning a bunch of stuff with them. So kind of like what I do is more like executive produce, like if you're the producer, I say, okay, I want this in it, move things around. This is how I want. This is the concept of the song. This is a rough draft of the hook. This is what I want. This is the vibe we're going for.
And you write it too?
I write part of the songs as well too, or at least give the concepts, right?
Oh, okay.
So, there's like certain lines that make it what like because the artists like to write their own stuff, right? So they'll take some stuff like I suggested and they'll make it in their own. So things like along those ends. So just kind of like a few years ago, back in 2016, I was like I just gotta put these songs out already. So I work with a couple different producers. Shout out to my boy Poppy Figs. I did Screenshots and Want To with. Screenshots is with Pilo, Cool John, Mike Dashi, and my boy Suavenchi or Tails. I've done that, and that did pretty well. Did like 250,000 streams.
That played in the club in over here, right? 'Cause I remember hearing that one.
That would play like it was. I think it was like low key. Like people were slapping here because there were like trucks at Sandy's because it slaps. I mean, it has the bass in there and the sound is crazy. So that did good, and then I followed it up with my next single, Want To, with I Am Sue, AD, JR Castro, which I did with Poppy Figs and my boy Jules Washington. And that one did like 1.5 million streams on Spotify alone.
I like that one line he says, I think it's in the chorus, he's like, she got a man. What'd that have to do with me?
Yeah, screenshot, yeah.
Oh, that's screenshot.
Yeah. What the bleep got to do with me? But all these songs is like it comes from example or real life experiences, right? You know what I mean? Like, so those did really good. I think all the songs I have now, like collectively over 2 million streams, just off like 4 songs.
Yeah, that's super cool. And you're working on your new EP.
Baby EP, Night at the Heartbreak.
Yeah, and that's super cool because you're releasing these music videos with it, and it's like telling the story, right?
Yeah.
And it's with Tiana Tully, right?
Right.
She went to Kaiser. I went to Kaiser 1 year, so I think she was a freshman when I was a senior. So
nice.
I don't know if we've ever met. We might have crossed paths before, but yeah, she
Hawaii.
stars.
We all know each other.
She stars in your music video, and she's a young actress, in Hawaii. So love to support her. Again,
like we talked about Adam earlier, Tiana's another friend of the family. She's actually best friends with my younger cousin.
Oh, nice.
So Tiana has always been around, and I've always been supportive, because she would be, at one point, a couple of years ago, she was in every single local commercial.
Yeah.
She's in Magnum PI. She was on the Hallmark movie, on the Hallmark channel with a movie co-starring, and I'm so proud of her. I've known her so long, and like my uncle is like, and my auntie like love her. That's like her other parents too, right? So she has there's a lot of connection there. So we finally decide, like I said, hey, I got this concept, Night at the Heartbreak, and I said all the videos are gonna connect and they're gonna tell the story about heartbreak, and that's basically, if you hear all the songs, it's all relationship driven. It's all about how our culture, how our generation deals with heartbreak. like the first single, More Than Friends with Marky Basie. How many times you saw a girl you want to be more than friends?
Yeah. And you acted in it too.
Yeah. So I have. Cool. It's the story.
Shout out to Min.
Yeah,
our guy here. He was the teacher in that music video.
Yeah, that's my boy right there. So it's just telling the story, and I'm like, I'm not into videos. Well, even though one of my videos had strippers in it, but it was telling a story. But my point is, I always wonder why artists don't connect their video when they come out with an album. Why doesn't all the songs connect?
There's Fall Out Boys. Didn't they have something like it was like a?
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
That's
yeah,
kind of something similar.
So I know Chris Brown did it when he did his Liquor and Zero. He kind of connected the two videos a couple of albums ago, but I always thought to myself, why don't you connect all these? And that's what I wanted to do. So basically, I'm putting together this project, and I got some pretty crazy features.
Oh, really?
That I'm working on. A couple of them have to get approved, but it's just again radio and like relationships, unfortunate, and relationships is huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all about all the connections.
Yeah, connections. No, I love that name. So I mean, just putting together all these is gonna connect. So I'm gonna drop the project hopefully soon.
Yeah.
I feel like I have the best guy for the job, Visionize Media. Shout out to Antonio Agosto. He does all my videos.
Yeah, honestly, the music videos were so good. The last one, the Easy, that was such a cool story. I like that, the twist too.
So when we put this together, I'm very hands-on, not only with the music but the video. And Antonio does really. What separates him is that he's just not like, okay, you want to do that? Cool. Here's my invoice. Mm-hmm. We FaceTime at midnight. He's calling me throughout the day. He's invested in the project. Hey, we should do this, bro. You know what we should do? I like that. If we work together on something, it's we. It's not like I work for you or you work for me. Yeah. You want somebody who's like, bro, we should do this.
He's really involved.
He's very involved. He is so creative. Mm-hmm. He gets what I'm trying to do. Mm-hmm. He's like, we're gonna create the Heartbreak universe. So I came up with the theme, right? Is that Greece, Riverdale, kind of like on like a nightmare version of Greece and Riverdale. So basically the concept of the project, Night of the Heartbreak, is the motel rooms represent us alone in our thoughts, right? Everybody's got heartbroken before. We're fine when we go out with our friends, but when we are alone, that's when the heartbreak haunts us. Yeah. And that's the concept behind Night of the Heartbreak.
Wow, that's cool. That's deep.
Yeah, it's the concept. I'm trying to shoot this, like a little short film, like a prequel, and it link everything.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully you'll be at the release party, right?
Yeah. Okay. Let me know. Okay. I have maybe like 3 nights out a year, so I'll save one for the. Yeah, I'm a huge homebody. I don't go out much, so.
No, that's cool.
Once in a while, I'll go to Moani's, and I know you.
Yeah, there we go. But so that's what's going on.
If I've been trying to get on a TV show or movie or something. I've been telling people this is one of my bucket list goals. Is I really want to be a dead body on a TV show or movie. Or
actually, video. You know what?
So if you need a dead body, I'm just putting my name in the hat, and just I'm not saying to choose me, but I am also saying to choose me.
Well, so you said you saw the video Easy, right? So you saw the plot twist at the end. There could be dead bodies popping up in the next video.
Just saying, if you need a dead body, I know a guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
All right. Well, super cool. I'm excited for your next singles, and all these songs they're good songs. They're
Thank you.
Objectively good songs.
Thank you.
So yeah, keep it up.
Shout out to Franskis, by the way. I did the production with him. I mean, he knows exactly. He's like the audio version of what I said Antonio was. It's just I had this concept a while ago, and I started working on Night at the Heartbreak back in 2017 with Franskis. So, I mean, he gets what I'm trying to do. So
awesome. And he's got a good team.
Yeah, without these guys that I work with, huge.
Love that. Okay, we'll get into Instagram questions real quick, and then we'll get back to our thing. So we got 3 right here. Okay. King Adam wants to know, do Hawaii radio stations have their playlists on shuffle? Why do I hear the same song 3 times an hour?
I think he's exaggerating. We don't play the same song 3 times an hour. But the whole concept of radio, how many times you listen to the radio and you didn't like a song, you like us, our generation, instant gratification. If we don't hear one of our favorite songs, we're punching out. We have to make sure we're playing the best of the best songs, because we need people to listen longer. Everything's strategic, how it's played. And it's the same thing too. You go to even Spotify, they'll play the same thing, or they'll have commercials if you're not Spotify Premium. You know what I mean? So
if you're a peasant.
Right. So like radio, you just gotta look at it as like, I mean, like my stage Power, we're playing a lot more new music ever since, especially what I'm doing. We're very aggressive with the new music. But it's, you go to like LA, you go to New York, it's the same. It just may sound different because you don't live in LA, you don't live in New York, right? So everything's fresh to you, right?
Well, grass is always greener, right?
Right. And then like they might play more hip hop stuff. You know, like I know a lot of people, how come LA plays that? Well, you know, our local people like a little bit different music. Like maybe you and your small group of friends like the really hard hip hop stuff, but in the grand scheme of it, you know, a mother who's 27, 28, 29 with like a 3-year-old is not going to listen to heavy hip hop more than likely. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where we just got to play the best of the songs. That's just what it comes down to.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you want to always, that's why you play it a couple times within an hour, 2 hour, 3 hour span. Because like, people tuning in at different times.
Yeah,
right?
it's that too, right? I mean, we can't play the same song in the same hour, of course not. Yeah. But, you know, like we have to play the best of the songs because, you're tuning in, but how long are you listening to, right? Like, I mean, if you're listening for hella long, you're going to hear the same songs over, obviously. But, you know, you want people to listen as much as possible. You're trying to, like, make sure somebody who wasn't listening at 3 still hears the best, you know what I mean, some of their favorite songs when they turn in or tune in at 4. Okay. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you choose all the songs, or is there some sort of competition between other radio stations where this new song comes out by, for example, you know, Rihanna? You're like, I want to be the first one to play that on Hawaii.
Right. Yeah, you want to do something like that. Yeah, like that plays part of it too. You know, you want to be on it with that, especially like myself, who I'm part of the culture, right? I live the lifestyle, right? So I'm not gonna like play this 5 days later for the first time. You know what I mean? I'm already
check
trying
out
to play
this new song.
You know what I mean? Like, exactly. You know what I mean? I'll play, like, I try to be on it. And it's a combination of things, right? Is that research and, you know, requests and like everything. There's all these factors that play, you know, how we put a song on. You know what I mean?
Do you have an inside guy? You know how, like, in the NFL, Adam Schefter always tweets, like, you know, this guy just got traded. You have somebody like, hey, Rihanna's about to release a new song.
Yeah, the record label's to all of us. It's not so like all of us, you know.
All at the same time.
Yeah, everybody knows pretty much. Okay. You know what I mean? What's happening, so.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, cool. Well, there's your answer, King Adam. Shout out. That's my friend Adam. What's up, Adam? Okay, our friend, DJ Min1.
Oh, boy.
He wants to know, what is your most humiliating point in your career? Came out with a fire on that one.
Yeah, he made me think, what is...
Or maybe if you had an embarrassing moment, maybe you stumbled or, you know.
Oh, he's making me think.
A moment you can laugh back on, or you just...
I can't think of anything right now. Well, the thing with myself, too, I don't take myself seriously.
Yeah, so even if something bad happens, you're like,
I really don't care. I have no shame at all. I'm not affected by that. You know what I mean? I'm not too cool for anything. You know what I'm saying? So I just laugh it off. You know, I don't really care.
Okay, well,
yeah.
All right, well, that's an answer enough for me. Well, let's go.
I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, I mean, I post pretty embarrassing videos. You know what I mean? So I have no, you know what I mean?
Everything's already out there.
Yeah, I try to be an open book in terms of like stuff like that. I'm not afraid to, you know, joke around how girls act like, or you know what I mean, or pretend like what girls say or do. You know what I mean? Like I just doesn't. I think like that's what I learned too in this business, right? In entertainment, it's like you just don't take yourself seriously.
Yeah. I think with anything, life's too short. Too.
Yeah, you know?
We all end up in the same place.
Yeah,
either in the ground, becoming a tree, in heaven, in hell, whatever you believe. Yeah. We're all going somewhere, and that's not on this earth, unless you believe you will be planted and become a tree. So I don't know. Maybe I'm contradicting
I'm never
myself.
gonna look at trees the same again after this interview.
All right, last one. So let's flip that. And our Hawaiiverse team wants to know, what's the best story you have?
Best story in radio. God, what is a good story? Oh my God. Going to the strip club with Akon.
Oh, because it told a story, right? Just like your music video.
It wasn't my idea.
Hey, girl, hey, baby, I'm at the strip club. I'm watching a story right now.
Yeah, no, it was, what did we do? So he was just so happened out here. His manager hit me up and he's like, Akon's out here. It was it's Pro Bowl week.
What year
Can we get
was this?
like maybe 2012, 13?
Okay.
So he's like, oh, he's out here. Yeah, do you think he can get him a gig? I said, or like a party to host. I said, yeah. So we negotiated something. So we paid him what he wanted, and then.
Oh, you paid? He wants.
Well, it was promoters, right? Like so, like it was like me and like some other people I was promoting with at the time, and then we paid him, and. So Akon is super cool too. That's another super cool bro.
Okay.
We went to Polynesia Cultural Center. They shut it down for him.
Wow.
Yeah, and then he just I set up. It was they treated us so good. Shout out to Polynesia Cultural Center. They really took care, easy to work with, and just super easy to work with, especially with like a big artist, celebrity like Akon.
And he was big. That's probably
he was
more closer to the peak of his career, right?
Yeah. So we had so much fun. So he goes, "What are you guys doing tomorrow?" So I don't know. Let's go to the strip club. So we're at his hotel suite at the Trump Hotel.
Okay.
And those suites are crazy nice.
Yeah.
So he's getting ready. We're just chilling in the living room, right? So he got like his stacks of money and all that. So he grabs a couple stacks and then, I want to go to the strip club. I was like, what? So we get to the strip club, right? So we're sitting around. He takes these mini stacks, gives it to all of us.
Oh,
me and a couple other homies.
And all ones. Just
yeah.
Like stack of ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Boom, boom, boom. And he goes, have fun, boys. And we're all at the table. That's crazy?
I honestly, I've actually never been to the strip club in my life. But if that was me, I would have just like, oh, thanks for the money, and then like throw one or two and then pocket the rest.
Funny you say that.
My frugalness would have just been like, keep this money.
Well, the race to 50K, I mean, that explains a lot. That explains how you were able to do what you did. Funny story, though. We didn't use all the money.
Okay.
And then we pocketed some of the money. It was like $30-$40, I think. But it was
okay.
I mean, we just threw money, but he was like, that was a crazy event because, he wasn't like, okay, I did my gig, cool, hanging out with you guys, done.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what you guys doing tomorrow?
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do.
I love that. That makes you feel special, right?
It was funny.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, we've been to the strip club, it's cool and stuff like that too. But like, to me, I'm not like a full blown, oh my God, let's go. Mm-hmm. He just loves it, So he got a private dance or whatever. And I think he came back then, he gave us some money or vice versa. But it was just, that was a crazy, that's a funny moment.
That's a cool moment.
That's a cool moment. He just giving us stacks of money. He'd be like, okay, have fun, boys. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Any celebrities out there want to give us some stacks of money, let us know.
Yeah.
Come reach me.
But it's not pay week, so we're just going to have to pocket that money, okay?
Yeah. Okay, I love that. That's awesome. So what do you enjoy the most about your work? Mahalo for the Instagram question, everybody. Leave some for the next podcast. What do you enjoy the most about what you do?
Yeah, going back to the just meeting people, that connection. And
the human
really
connection.
Building that connection and like having, people like making you a part of their day. Mm-hmm. Like it might sound a little cheesy or whatever, no, but like if you did what I do, you would know what I'm talking about. Like you'd be like, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Mm-hmm. Being out in the community is so rewarding. Connecting. That was my favorite part of when I was in Peace Corps Madagascar, is being there, because we don't have technology, we don't have any of that. So, all you do is talk story with people, right? You go to the market, you talk to the bread ladies, the vegetable ladies, whatever.
That's a crazy experience you went through.
Yeah, I mean, it really changed my life. It gives you perspective, and you come back and you don't see the world the same.
Well, I mean, that explains what you do and your brand and what you're about.
Yeah, I'm all about connecting. And that human connection I'm just like, wow, I wish this was everywhere around the world.
And that explains your frugalness, and that's why it explains all this, like, when you experience something like that, going to a third world country, you're like, yeah, it's cool. Like you said, it really, I'm sure, like
Yeah, I could
put
share
things-
some crazy stories from that.
Yeah,
as well, but
put things in perspective.
we'll leave that for a different. If I'm ever on somebody else's podcast.
Yeah, no, I think that's awesome, and yeah, it's just that building, and just like I'm at Moani's on the weekend, Friday and Saturday, and I
Shout
joke
out to
around.
Moani.
Yeah,
They're doing
to.
a great job.
I feel so at home over there. The entire staff are friends. I felt like I grew up with all the staff members.
Yeah.
Shout out to one of the owners, Micah G. Micah G and I
Carla
go.
Louise.
Yeah, I've known Micah, his cousins, for like long time. We have all the same mutual friends, and I play. He didn't play sports, but like all like his cousins and friends that I played football against or with, and it just every time I joke around with him, I was like, "Oh, bro, did you see just the last week?" Oh yeah, I was like, "Bro, I haven't seen him since you." You know what I mean? It's like it feels like home because every time I'm at Moani, I always bump into somebody I know.
Well, it brings them in more of a local crowd than other places, I think.
Well, what I love about Moani, like, for Fridays, when we're there on Fridays with shout out to Osna and Kawi King, like, it's just no cover, no dress code, just come cruise. You like dance, okay? You can dance. You like drink on the side, talk story, catch up. You can do that. You can cruise at the bar. You know what I mean? It's indoor, outdoor. It's a nice venue, and it's like I feel like it's just you know what I mean? It's like there's no pressure to turn up like at a club or whatever.
Exactly. I love that because when I went, I was just sitting at the table talking stories with some friends, and that's what I love to do. Yeah. And but everybody was just having fun at the dance floor. I had my local slippers on. If I ever go to the club, I'm like, oh, I can't go because I have slippers on. Funny story, actually. One time I went to the district in college, and I forget who I was with. We're going, and I never go to a club, so I always wear slippers. So I just went there not thinking I need shoes. Right. So what happened was I was trying to sneak in, and some random guy came out and were like, "Hey, can I borrow your shoes?" So I borrowed his shoes, and he went to the back door with my slippers, and then inside I traded his shoes back. And then I was in the club with my slippers, but I was just sitting at the bar kind of hiding my feet the whole time.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
The district, I've been there since opening. I love, like, that's home to me too.
Yeah. I saw
district.
Who was it? Michael Strahan there once.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, he was there in like 2016, I think.
Oh,
I wonder if it was the night. No, it was a little bit before I graduated, so in 2016.
District is for sure like where you need, like, no question, like that's like the spot for like Saturday night. We like rage over there. I mean, a guy in Ty Dolla $ign to perform over there. My boy Marky Basie did a little something. Like you'd be surprised who you see over there, and it's like always sold out. It's a great vibe. It's a great environment. It's very team oriented. Shout out to Alex, Evan, and Zach and the crew over there. The district family. Like it just feels. That's why like I'm just there. It feels good. Yeah.
How does the nightlife in Hawaii compare to nightlife outside of?
I think it's the whole same thing too, right? You consistently going out here, right? You want something different sometimes, and then like sometimes they think it's so much better, in LA or whatever. It's like, yeah, because you only go to Vegas once a year, so you go to Marquee. Of course, you're gonna think it is fun, you know what I mean? But it's like, I think for what we have here and what our resources and whatnot, I think we do a pretty good job. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And just people who make those comments are like, because they're used to it already, right? Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
it can't be that bad because we're packed and we're sold out every weekend. You know what I mean? So obviously we're doing, the team and the club is doing a great job of it too.
Yeah.
So
when you go to these places, are you more of the promoter? Because I know, Osna...
No, host. I just host.
Host, yes, and Osna DJs.
Yeah.
So you're just like kind of like the hype man and like...
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, back in like hip hop too, right? In the beginnings, right? People forget it was a team, right? The DJ and the MC, and then you would make sets, and it's like you play certain songs, you say certain things here. My whole job about like hosting is like the old school guys would like talk, just make more announcement-ish. Mm-hmm. My thing is I always try to be relatable. What I say, what I do, what I say during the song, what I do, working with the DJ. If it's DJ Devin or Old Snizzle, it's like, okay, we're gonna do it here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to say this here. You know what I mean? It's like little things like that because you want to entertain, right? You know what I mean? Like, and I feel like what I bring to the table is a unique style, So at the end of the day, I'm just trying to like make sure you have a great time.
Yeah.
You know what I
awesome.
mean? You know, so it's just, you know, so.
That's cool.
I'm fortunate that, you know, like Dave and Buster's, shout out to Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, DMV's on Wednesdays. That's,
you know,
that's a college spot.
District, you know, all these places, like, you know, like just have me there, and I'm very grateful for all that, you know, so couldn't
cool.
love
you
it.
You still got a long career ahead of you.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Speaking about that, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? What do you want to be doing? What's the goals?
Just kind of like, you know, just whatever. I love radio. I'm always gonna do radio as long as I can. That, you know, just continue to put out music as well too. That's pretty much it, you know.
Because you're kind of already established in a sense, right? You've been doing this for so long. You
I just
built
think
your brand.
I just think it's just taking it like just the music to the next level. You know what I mean? Obviously, radio is number one. That's what I do, you know. But just continue to be successful in radio and improve, you know, my stations, and continue to learn as a program director, grow, and, you know, eventually, you know, be on other radio stations in the mainland. That's always been a thing of mine. I wanted to do that. I always wanted to, and just the music hitting. I think the next step is having a song that, because I was close, you know what I mean? Like, want to having 1.5 million streams. Like, it shows that I'm capable of doing something like that with my team. So it's just things along those nature.
So you want like a mega viral song?
So like that. Just continue.
Everybody.
Yeah, I think that's it. You know, growing the brand, my radio brand, doing other stuff on, you know, other radio stations, being involved with other radio stations, you know, on the mainland and whatnot.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a really good support team here as well too. You know, like locally. Shout out to I have a manager, Kevin. Shout out to Kevin, and a partner, Gotaro. And I feel like I have the best. I feel like I'm just in stride right now because I have really good people around me. Shout out to Marika and Holden. Those two they do all my merch, and they have crazy experience. Like, Marika used to be the creative director at TNC. She's a really good friend of mine. She's dope. She did my Snoopy Just Snap merch I just dropped. She did that. Holden, he did the Hangry Meal, that box that I did during the pandemic with Mental Bento. Shout out to Maxi. But I feel like I have a really good team. You know, it really came together when my boy Gotaro came. Like, we started like messing with each other. And we known each other from high school and that. But then, you know, like everything just felt organic. You know what I mean? So I just like that, just support. One of my best friends owns Leftovers Hawaii. Shout out to CJ. I get all my vintage from there. He's like,
oh yeah, he told me about.
Yeah, he former UH baseball player. I mean, went Iolani. We get, again, like, just like Micah G, we got the same friends growing up, a lot of same stories. So, you know, just that. And I really do feel like, though, like, just even my friends, the support for my friends and my business relationships, I feel like I have a team. I think that's why things are happening. Is because I have, and they're really good.
That's cool.
You know what I mean?
You spend a lot of time cultivating these relationships, and
that's huge.
Putting yourself out there, right?
Right.
You have to be able to do that.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, you know, I'm very grateful for them. I'm very grateful for anybody who helped me, who's ever supported me, whoever listened, whoever streamed my music, whoever downloaded my music. You know, just following, or, you know, just, I find like the little things, right? When they just come, hi Micah, or like, you know, like that means a lot. Just like little things like that. You know, sometimes people would like DM me like, "Oh, I saw you. I didn't want to say hi though." Like, I'm not a dick. Just come say hi. Like, you know, but that's the coolest thing. So I mean, I'm very grateful. I'm all thanks to God for, you know, my situation, and I don't have time to, I wish I had this, I wish I had, like, you just got to do it. You just got to get up and do it.
Yeah. Let's go for it.
Just like what you're doing.
Trying to.
You're like, oh, I don't make money for it. Okay, well, like, you started, Drake said it the best, started from the bottom. You have to. Because you have to know what it takes and then, to be successful. And then you know how it is to be without money. Now you know what to do when you get money.
Yeah, and you can relate to every phase of other people's life.
Exactly.
Because you were in their shoes as well. So yeah, that's super cool. So how do you want people to remember you after all this is said and done?
How I made them feel.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Love that.
Forget all the materialistic things. That's no doubt. You saw how I answered you. I didn't even let you finish the question.
Yeah.
It's just how I made them feel, and hopefully a lot of people, or you know what I mean, as much as possible, have great memories. You know what I mean?
Do you know this
Of
quote
me.
by Maya Angelou? She said, people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but
Yeah.
people will never forget how
How you made them feel. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought about when you said
Yeah.
that. That's one of my favorite quotes as well.
I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
I think, you know, sometimes in our culture, like what I do, right, it's all about showing off, bragging and whatnot, you know what I mean, and ego and stuff. And I don't know, I just hope that people just remember like good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all human, but at the end of the day, I know I can look at myself in the mirror and sleep good at night because I know I haven't done anything malicious to anybody. You know, it's like sometimes people might take things the wrong way, but that's just being human and misinterpreting or whatever. And I've always had this, you know, you had an issue with me, come talk to me. Because you know what I mean? Like sometimes people, you say something like, oh, I didn't even mean that. Like, where did they get that from? Why is Kamaka not talking to me right now? You know what I mean? Like, bro, just
Dramas.
yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, like it's cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know I don't treat people, I don't care who you are, how much money you are, or you know what you do, or you know if you don't have quote unquote clout. It's like if you good to me, if you down with me, then I'm down with you. That's how I rock. I don't care who you are. You know what I mean? I'll rock with you forever, even if, you know, social media or whatever. So what if you don't have 100 followers or whatever? Don't mean anything. Are you down? Are you real to me? Are you hella cool to me? Then I'm gonna rock back with you. You know what I mean? That's as simple as that.
Yep, that's the local mindset right there.
You know?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. All right, so we're coming towards the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Just got a few more questions, and then we'll wrap up. What is something you wish people knew about you that they probably don't know? I like to ask all my guests that. So something you wish people knew about you that they don't necessarily know. And I know you say you're pretty transparent about everything. So is there something that maybe you think people
How I
know
am
about
on
you?
social media is pretty much how I am in real life. Like I know, like I love fashion, right? So I love nice stuff, or you know, I've gotten before, oh, he thinks he cocky, or because like if people know that you're confident, right? But I'm just,
you know who you are.
Yeah.
You're confident in it.
yeah.
And you know if people.
I think sometimes it's gotten taken away. You know, it's gotten taken the wrong way in the past, and especially like when you have some kind of platform, right? It's like it's even more skewed. Like, oh, he thinks he's hot
because
shit,
he has a couple thousand followers.
Or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
he's
you
on
know
the
that,
radio.
yeah, you know, like oh, and it's like no,
Yeah.
but
I think it's hard not to think of people like that because you see all these followers
Yeah.
on Instagram, you see somebody on the news, on the radio, or
Yeah.
here on the radio. You know, you kind of put people on this pedestal, and it's like
Yeah.
they're in this different category than other people. But even like for me, doing this, meeting you, meeting all these other guests that I
Yeah.
have, it's like it really brings them down to earth. And
Yeah.
when I get to meet people, because like even before I knew you as this, you know, nightclub guy or radio personality. And it's a little intimidating at first. But then you just talk stories and like, oh,
Yeah.
this guy is a local brother just like me, right?
that's all it
Yeah.
is, man.
And you don't know that unless you talk to them instead of just judging them from their social
Yeah.
media, right? You don't know unless you have a conversation with them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is. You nailed it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the point of the podcast is for.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got some people coming up on the podcast. So I'm just like super stoked. You know, political season's coming up,
Yeah.
election season's coming up. So I'm excited to, you know, get to know those guys. So there's just a lot that we can do with this platform and on the radio as well.
No,
So,
absolutely, yeah.
yeah, this is super cool. All right. This is something that it's kind of new on the podcast. I actually forgot to give you a heads up before the podcast started. I like to get a life hack from my guests.
Life hack.
Do you have a life hack that you can share with us?
Take naps. I'm not even joking about that.
He's a big advocate for naps. He has
yeah.
T-shirts. He has all these.
You know the whole concept of the
merch.
just nap, like 1-800 more naps. The whole concept is obviously I love taking naps, but it's meant for people like an entrepreneurs, like the college student who works full time, then has to work a part-time job to pay their tuition, but doesn't get home from working, you know, at a restaurant till like 1:00 in the morning, and then they have to study to do their paper, or they have to study for their exam the next day. Like it's for hustlers, people who are ambitious, entrepreneurship. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's hustlers don't sleep. You have to nap. Right. That was the whole concept behind napping, because when you're too busy chasing your dreams, you don't have time to sleep. You only can get in naps. That's that's the whole concept behind naps.
That's so interesting. I didn't know that was why you were so big on it, and it makes sense, especially with your lifestyle. I get it too, because recently I just been, trying to incorporate naps in my day, and not even by choice sometimes. I'm just so exhausted from doing so many things. I just get home and I'm just like passed out.
Right, but you have entrepreneurship DNA.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Or even like somebody who doesn't necessarily, but they go to school full time and then they have to work their part-time job.
Yeah.
You don't have time because you're too busy chasing what your goals are.
It's hard to shut off your mind though. And
I'm the worst like that.
Yeah, and be like, I'm just gonna take a nap, but you're like, but I have to do all these other things.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. So that's like kind of one of those things where it's like, that's the whole concept behind the nap movement.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know that, and they're like, what?
It's a good life hack. It's good to hear you reiterate that. So make sure we're getting adequate amount of sleep, and if not, take naps. Just nap.
Yeah, there you go. Just nap.
All right. So what are your favorite local businesses to support?
Leftovers Hawaii, for sure. I'm not saying that because that's one of my best friends, but it's just the vintage collection he has is so on point.
Yeah. I got to check them out. They're not too far from here.
Yeah. So recently they just moved, so they're going to have a new location soon, so you can hit them up online. But he has all the right pieces. He gets it. He has any and everything. And I'm not saying that to oh yeah, that's your boy, that's why. No. If you go in there and vintage, he has literally any and everything. Shout out to CJ. And, also Figgy Finds, our other close friend who does a vintage with him as well. But they get it. They know what's what. They're very knowledgeable. They either have everything or they can get anything you need.
Okay.
Just somebody that they just get it. It's not it's not only okay, this is the popular kind of tease at the time. It's like, I don't know, I have everything. So I literally I got this Ghost Rider shirt, everything. It's like it's done correctly.
We'll go check them out.
There
what about food places? Actual leftovers.
Yeah,
or maybe not because it's so ono, you always finish it.
Man, local business. Well, you can never go wrong with Helena's.
Yeah.
Highway Inn.
Mm-hmm.
Where else? I'm a big poke.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's the best? Poke. I just did a poke tasting kind of recently. What
don't
is?
Do this to me, bro. Don't do this to me. This is
not.
This
you don't. Okay, don't rate them 1 to 5. Just
throw out.
Yeah, throw out names. Yes.
Ono's.
Of course.
What else get good?
Foodland? Tamura's? Fresh Catch?
Fresh Catch is good.
Honestly, Safeway has underrated poke. Have you ever had Safeway poke? I'm not even joking. Their poke is pretty good.
I would say Malama Market Kapole.
Okay, I've never been there.
Yeah, my son loves the spicy poke over there in the Korean. I would say the main spots I go to would be that Malama Market. I mean, I go Foodland because it's easy. It's by my house. It's good, God, there's so many good sushi places. Off the Hook in Manoa is really good as well.
I've heard of that place. Yes.
Yeah, the line is crazy long. I get there, it's around the kind of Starbucks.
Yeah.
I would say Ono's there, Tamura's. Ahi Assassins is major.
That's Kappa.
That was McCully. They were McCully. I don't know if they're still there.
Okay.
They're pretty major.
Okay. I'm go check them out.
Just off the bat right now, just thinking,
Yeah. No, those are great. Those are all great suggestions. Mahalo.
I'm all about poke and plantation iced teas, man. Those are my things.
Nice. I love that. All right. Well, it's making me hungry, and it's around lunchtime, so maybe we should go grab some food and then enjoy the rest of our day. Take a nap, maybe.
Do all of the above. You gotta do the plantation. You gotta do the poke, and then you gotta nap after.
Yeah.
It's
only
right.
Attack.
It's only right,
I love that combo. All right. Well, yeah. Mahalo for this conversation.
Thank
it was
you,
really
man.
cool talking story with you.
And I'm a big fan of what you do. I've always told you that, man. And I just want you to keep going.
Yeah.
And make it.
Well, we're gonna make it together.
Yeah.
We're just gonna keep elevating each other up and working together, building this community of young entrepreneurs, young Kanaka, just trying to make this place better than it was when we came in it.
There you go.
Yeah. So I love that. Yeah. Any final words? Where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, at Micah Banks, MICAHBANKS. Don't be afraid to say what's up, follow. I like meeting new people. You down talk story. I want to if you're going through some stuff and you feel like I provided some helpful information, you know, and you want to like pick brain talk story, you know, DM me. It's all good.
Right.
I love meeting cool people. I love seeing hustle.
Yeah, check them out at DMB's every Wednesday.
Yep, Moani's Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Moani Friday and Saturday, and then Saturday at District too. So
yeah. He's everywhere. You'll see him.
Speaking of local business, I want to shout out to like Summer Rain Floral. Okay. Shout out to my homegirl Tamron for that. God, there's so many other businesses. Leftovers Hawaii. What else? Hawaiiverse podcast, definitely. And if there's anybody else, I think I'm missing. No, I think I don't know. All my friends own businesses.
Yeah.
So it's hard to remember everybody. I just retweet or repost what they do.
Remember everybody to thank in an award-winning speech, right?
Yeah, it's just like, you know, anybody I forgot or I follow or I retweeted your stuff, keep going, man. I just want to see all of us make it. I want to see our generation change the game, and I think we are.
I think we will. I feel.
I know we are.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a cool thing to be part of it too. Be part of that change. So,
for sure.
Yeah, I'm stoked, and I'm excited for your next single. I'm gonna be checking it out and listening, and hopefully I'll be a dead body in one of the future music videos.
Hey, no, seriously, like we're always looking for like other people that's dope too. So.
Yeah.
And please add me to your Spotify and Apple Music playlist. All that.
Check them out, Micah Banks. All right, so mahalo, Micah, for joining us on the Hawaiiverse podcast. Check us out on Hawaiiverse.com, the best place to support local. Spread aloha, be kind to one another. And mahalo for listening to us today. New episodes every Thursday, so make sure you follow us and leave a review. I'm your host, Kamaka, and you'll hear me next time on the Hawaiiverse podcast. Hui ho.